At first, it was thrilling. When I found a girl's journal written at summer camp in the 90s. By the end, I understood why they closed that camp for good. When I found the journal, I wasn't really snooping. I just moved to a new house with my parents, and my room had a door with stairs to the attic. So instead of unpacking, I decided to see what was up there. I wish I never did that. Everything up there was dusty and smelled like pine, or pine sol. I'm not outdoorsy, so I don't really know the difference. The people who lived here before us left random junk they probably forgot about. Old Halloween decorations, broken chairs, and a cardboard box that said camp in faded marker. That box got my attention. I opened it hoping there were some cool vintage t-shirts in there, like they wore in Wet Hot American Summer. But actually, there was a notebook, a journal, the kind with an elastic band to keep it closed. On the cover, in bubble letters, it said, "Property of Tracy Nelson, Camp Ludington, summer of '95, keep out." Not a t-shirt, but still enticing. Reading someone else's journal is like cracking open their head and dwelling in their raw, unfiltered thoughts. You see the things people are too afraid or insecure to say out loud. I opened to the first page. Inside was this one line. At the time, I didn't clock it as anything weird, but now I think it's chilling. The journal said, "I was supposed to be having the time of my life." I recognized it from the book The Bell Jar. Dry humor. Tracy was my kind of girl. I eased into a rocking chair with one arm broken off and flipped to page 2. July 12th, 1995. The first week of camp's over and I'm in bunk 7. I took the bottom bunk on purpose. I like being able to get in and out of bed in the dark without making noise. Right now, I can hear Amanda talking about scratching sounds she hears at night sometimes. She's saying someone goes behind our cabin to dig holes. I wish she'd shut up. She thinks she knows everything. July 13. This morning we hiked up to Eagle Point. Maggie fell and broke her wrist on the trail. She said she was pushed, but nobody saw. So all the girls think she made it up because she's embarrassed. Who knows? It's kind of funny though. After dinner, the counselors taught us a song called the Circle Game. I thought it was a song made up for the camp, but then someone told me it's a Joni Mitchell song. She's a singer from the 60s. That's all I know, so it must be really old. July 14. The bonfire was canceled today. They said it was because of rain, but it barely drizzled. Amanda said it's because they found something weird on the trail. When I asked what, she said it's more of those holes someone's digging. She stared at me when she said it, which I really didn't like, but I pretended not to notice. I heard 2 counselors talking about the holes when they thought no one was around. One of them was crying because she was scared. She said she saw someone move through the trees while she was doing cabin checks last night. Megan got caught with 3 grocery bags of candy under her bed. We're talking full-size Snickers, M&Ms, Skittles, everything. She got sent home. Amanda said it's because she was selling the candy, not just eating it. The camp says that's against the rules. I guess some people aren't very good at keeping things quiet. July 15. Something happened at the CIT cabin last night. They're the oldest kids who are training to be counselors next year. Their cabin backs up to the woods, and this morning everyone was talking about how there was red writing like blood on the outside back wall. The writing said, "One day closer to death." The camp director replaced the whole back wall of wood planks before breakfast and burned the boards. But people had already seen it, so word got around. They canceled the nighttime kayak activity because of the writing on the CIT cabin. And now we're not allowed out of our bunk after 9 p.m., even to use the bathroom. We have to wake up a counselor to go with us. July 16. Everyone's talking about the writing on the CIT cabin. The message that said 1 day closer to death. They're saying whoever did that is deeply disturbed. I'm writing deeply disturbed in air quotes if you can't tell. The girls are being dramatic if you ask me. But no one did ask me, so I just ate my turkey sandwich while they freaked out. But what's the big deal when you really think about it? I mean, we are all literally 1 day closer to death every day. That's just a fact. I swear, people are so fragile. Thank God I have You Journal, where I can be honest. It releases the pressure valve just a little bit. It makes me think of this Edgar Allen Poe thing we read in English last year. He said, "I remained too much inside my head and ended up losing my mind." I hear you, Eddie. July 17. Maggie moved from our bunk, bunk 7, to bunk 3 today because she needs to be closer to the bathroom. At least, that's what she told us. Amanda says the real reason is that Maggie's afraid to stay in our cabin because she heard digging sounds outside our window and someone snuck into bed at 2 a.m. I asked Maggie about it while we were helping her move her things. She looked at the dirt under my fingernails and said, "Leave me alone, psycho." I put my arm around her and smiled. She practically ran to cabin 3 after that. I'm enjoying this cat and mouse game, but I'll need to end it soon. Maggie has a big mouth. July 18. I had to meet with the camp nurse today. She said it was just a check-in, but I know it's because of what happened before camp started. She asked a lot of questions about how I'm feeling, if I'm making friends. She kept looking at me like if she waited long enough, I'd divulge something. I waited too. I'm good at that. I wonder what my parents told them about me when they signed me up for camp. There's a padlock on the craft supply closet now because someone took all the red paint. That's fine. I don't need any more anyway. July 19. I found a hole in the floorboards under my bunk. It's perfect for hiding things I don't want anyone to see. Like this journal and some of my tools. I've noticed Amanda eyeing the hole a few times when she thinks I'm not looking. I swear she's getting on my nerves. So I left a dead butterfly on her pillow as a surprise when I was alone in the bunk. She screamed when she found it. Again, so dramatic. The counselor asked if anyone knew where it came from. We all shook our heads. July 20th. I couldn't sleep last night, so I went for a walk. I know we're not supposed to be out after 9 p.m., so I was careful, like I always am. Amanda followed me. She thinks I didn't notice, but I did. The camp director caught me near the edge of the woods. I told him I was sleepwalking. He escorted me back. I saw Amanda duck behind a tree when we walked by. She saw where I was digging. July 21. They found Maggie's shoes by the lake this morning. Just the shoes, not Maggie herself. Some of the girls are crying. They've been searching for her for hours. I've been helping, calling her name like everyone else. They're looking in all the wrong places. No one thinks to check the soft patch of dirt behind the old oak tree. The one where I've been working every night this week. It's amazing how much deeper you can dig when you're properly motivated. Maggie fit perfectly. She didn't scream long. Amanda cornered me after lunch. Said she saw me last night, knew what I did. Said she was going to tell the counselors everything. I smiled and told her we should talk about it tonight by the lake. The journal ended there. I thumbed through the rest of the pages, but they were all blank. I sat in the attic for a long time, staring at that last entry. I felt like I was inside Tracy's head, and it wasn't a great place to be. I looked up Camp Ludington 1995 on my phone. I didn't have to look hard to find 2 articles about girls who went missing from the camp. The main suspect was a 15-year-old camper named Tracy Nelson who had a history of violent behavior. She was committed to a psychiatric facility after being deemed unfit to stand trial. The camp closed permanently that fall. I closed the journal and put it back in the box, suddenly aware of how quiet the attic was, how isolated. I wondered why the previous owners had left this behind. Maybe they didn't know it was here. Or maybe they did, and that's why they moved. As I headed back downstairs, I noticed something I'd missed before. A name scratched into the doorframe. Tracy. I'm asking my parents if we can move. Tomorrow.